What's up guys, today we're going to be talking about the things I learned about the stock market in 2020. My name is Kevin Murray and this channel is all about personal finance tips and long-term investing. Back about a year ago, in March and April, the market was crashing. No one knew what was going to happen in the long term, or even the short term. Everything was chaotic in the world. Every country in the world was getting ready for their lockdown. Schools, my community college was getting ready to put everything online. Small businesses were starting to close in my community, and the market was crashing like crazy. I started my investing career back in 2019. I was just experimenting with the market, short-term trading, day trading, and option trading, and had a couple stocks too for the long term. But I remembered, kept them for 3 to 4 months and just sold them when the market crashed a little bit. It was like a tiny bit, like 2 to 3%, and I just panic sold. I thought we were getting into another crash. I was watching things on the news and on YouTube that the next crash was happening in 2019, but that wasn't the case. We just had a little dip in the market for a week or two, and the market kept going up. I sold everything, and about 4 or 5 months later, that's when I experienced the crash. My first crash ever as a stock market investor. The S&P 500, Dow Jones, the NASDAQ crashed 5 to 6% each and every single day. I was watching the market. Everyone was selling. And I knew from studying history of the stock market, like the dot-com bubble in 2000, 2001, and the financial crisis in 2007, 2008. Those are the best times to buy. As a stock market investor, you gotta stay unemotional at those times. Remember, why are you buying this stock in the first place or business? Is it because of their stock price, or do you see them undervalued and you want to make an investment and make tons of money in the next 5 to 10 years while holding that stock? One of the best times to buy is during crashes. Those are when your favorite companies you want to invest in are in sale. A, you have to think like this. Their underlying business model hasn't changed in the short term. B, why is the stock dropping significantly? Is it because of negativity or everything dropping in the market? Or is there like a blank going on in the world and we don't know what's going on? The 2020 crash was one of the fastest crashes we ever had in history. It dropped over 30% in like a month. It was crazy. And people that sold their stocks in March and April didn't have that mindset right. They weren't long-term investors like Warren Buffett. They probably haven't studied the market. Why was that? Their emotions took control of them. But look at the market right now. Everything's at all-time highs. Pretty much everyone learned, wow, if I just kept my stocks, I would have made a lot of money. If I just bought a little bit. During March and April and May, I capitalized. My 2.5 years of working at my local grocery store, I put most of that money into stocks. I picked my favorite businesses I understood on a high level and just holding them long-term. I invested in companies that got hit the hardest, like Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Wynn, Uber, Toll Brothers, Facebook, just to name a few. Those were steals. My mindset back then, probably like, I don't know how to explain it, but like entry-level stock market experience. During these last 6, 7, 8 months, and even a year, like, I grew like exponentially as a stock market investor. What does it take to be a good investor for the long term? What is value investing? What is growth investing? What's the mindset and fundamentals of all great investors? How should I research it? Not a lot of people in this world do this type of investing, probably like around 5%. And people that say don't pick individual stocks, they haven't done the work. Ask them these specific questions. Have you read the 10K or 10Q in your life of a specific company or listen to the conference call? You could be successful in the long term, but it just takes patience, discipline, unemotional, and having a long-term mindset. Most of the market is psychology, 80% of it. 20% is researching. If you got that mindset right, you're going to be very successful in the long term. And when you're investing in the stock market, you got to think rationally. Ask yourself questions. Why are you buying this initial business model in the first place? Are you buying it because you like it? You see value in it? Is it undervalued? Or are you just buying into the hype? You only make investments because you're doing it. You're not doing it just because someone says, oh, this is going to be the next 10x stock. This stock's going to be the next Tesla or the next Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin's a cryptocurrency, but let's jump back to present times. Like I talked about, stock market's at all-time highs right now. Like the main 3 stock charts people track is the S&P 500, which tracks the 500 largest companies in the US, the Dow Jones, which tracks the largest 30 companies in the US, they're blue chip companies, and the NASDAQ, the high-flying growth stocks, like the hype stock. And we could say, are we in a bubble too? Look at throughout history. Haven't we always been in a bubble? When we hit all-time highs, people say, oh, we're in a bubble. The next crash is happening. But hasn't the stock market always been going up? Hasn't it? If you studied history, the crashes throughout history, like the known one, the dot-com and the financial crisis, we went down, but we went up. But it took years. It didn't take months like this crash. So this was like a unique experience for me. Gotta train yourself for these times and expect it. That's why I'd always have cash available. Just capitalize on the red days, corrections, and crashes. One of the key lessons that I took away from 20 2020 is to just buy and hold. It might just sound so simple, but have that outlook. Pick your favorite companies you understand on a high level. You use their products or services each and every single day. One of my biggest positions I have is Facebook. They own Facebook and Instagram. One of my favorite social media sites to use every day is Instagram. And the power of social media, online advertising, virtual reality continuously to grow exponentially in the next 5 years. And that's what virtual reality is going to be big, not just for the gaming sector, but for work and fitness, music industry and movies. Experience you have with virtual reality, it's like really cool. Number 2, Corsair Gaming. It's a gaming streaming company, but they're not just a gaming and streaming company. I own like their keyboards, mouse, computer parts of my computer, mouse pad, headset. This company, if you look at it, compare it to Logitech, which is a good company. I like their products too. They have like 5x to 6x to grow, just comparing their valuations, like the PE ratio, market cap, and they're just growth in general. Like gaming and streaming is not going to stop because of the pandemic. It's been growing exponentially. Pandemic, like with everything else, has sped up a lot of things like technology, like freelancing. One of my other picks, up over 100% on that stock in a short amount of time. Upwork has run up a lot in the short term, but there's so much potential. And this stock, in my opinion, are all deals right now. Upwork, Facebook, Corsair. As a long-term investor, I don't care about short-term fluctuations in the market. Do I care about the day-to-day price actions? No. I only care about the long-term longevity of my companies that I invest in. Every quarter, there's a thing called a 10Q. A public company has to release earnings, and investors like me and you can compare numbers from their current quarter and yearly and see, is this company moving in the right direction? And listen to the latest conference call. You see this outlook 6 to 12 months and see, okay, what is this company expecting in revenue-wise? What kind of markets are they wanting to go in? Are they expanding? Like, what are the problems are they facing? Third lesson I learned. Always have cash available 10 to 30%. Number 4, don't be over diversified. Probably 18 or 19 companies in my portfolio, but with the amount of cash I had in my portfolio was over diversified. Sure, there are all deals in the market and I made 50 to 100% on each stock I picked, but that's not right. Right now I have 6 companies in my portfolio and I'm very confident in. I have deeper positions in them and I just want to hold them for the long term. And when you have deeper positions in them, you make more money essentially. Why invest in 30 companies and put 1,000 in each company? Why not have like 5 to 6K in one company? Compounding works for it. When you make the gains on them, you make more money. Would you rather be making 30K on one of your stocks or just 3K? And remember this, when you're young, you have 50 to 60 years if you're in high school and college. You have that time horizon. This video, like, put your money where your mouth is. Invest in companies you like, understand on a high level, have a growing business model, growing sector, and they're just producing, just keeping up to date with them. Know what you're investing in. Do your research. In later videos, I'll talk about the 10K, 10Q, listening to conference calls, my research process, and having that mindset and fundamentals. Think long term. Be patient, disciplined. Patience with investing. It's going to have that 3 to 5 year outlook. Discipline. Are you willing to do research? Unemotional, unattached to the short-term fluctuations. Buy and hold in 3 to 5 years. And just show your results and see. Everyone could say and sell you, okay, this stock's going to be the next 10x. Trust your intuition and do your due diligence. Don't FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't just invest in something because it went up a lot in the short term, like Bitcoin or Tesla. They're great investment classes to invest in. Tesla, leaders in EV. Bitcoin, leader in crypto, has the largest market cap, store of value, hedge against inflation. Know your risk factor. Ask yourself specific questions. Thank you for watching and peace out.